Scrappy Peeps, Suzanna here today for ThermOWeb, and I'm here to share with you a birthday layout. Not just any birthday, but a 50th birthday, so that requires some extra special bling, I think. There are two things that every birthday needs, glam and cake, and we got lots of glam on this layout. I am working with the Crepe Paper Hooray collection, and I have decided that this pattern paper here with the confetti is going to be my background, and I am going to put a what do I want to call this? I'm going to put this piece of red as my main palette on that confetti background. I'm going to ground it with some of this blue, just a very thin strip at the top there to add the balance and the contrast between that red and then something that grounds the top of that page. Now I want to add a little bit of birthday bling to that red pattern paper there, so I'm going to use that clear designer toner sheet, and I'm going to cover that in gold because the color palette here that I'm pretty much working with is yellow / gold, red, and blue. And so I am going to heat up my hot laminator so that I can run that through, and then I'm going to prep everything so that I can run everything through the hot laminator all at once. And I know I want to work with some stars, and I'm going to use that same color palette, and so I'm using these little bee dies, star dies, and I am going to run them through my manual die cutter and cut out some various size stars. Now this manual die has a embossing, so it's a stitched emboss, and I could do that before I run it through the hot laminator, but I'm worried that the foil will get caught in that opening, so I feel like I'm going to get a better effect when I do it after, and so that second part of the die I will run after. So I am heating up my hot laminator, but I want to get my foils ready, and so I am working with gold and deep blue, that's the blue, and then the red that I'm working with is actually a Gina K Designs fancy foil, and that is red velvet. So there are all the foils. I'm going to get the packet ready to put through the hot laminator. So it's just each of the foils, actually the toner sheets and the peel and stick toner sheets and the clear designer toner sheets, they all come with it's not foil, they come with parchment paper that you can create for your sandwiches to run these through. Now I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to warn you that I run these through the wrong way. So the toner sheet is going to go, the clear designer toner sheet is going to go through correctly, but I have put those on the wrong way there. You want the black side down into the toner in order to pick that up. So you'll see in a minute that I have run this through the wrong way, and I'm going to have to turn that over. So you want to make sure when you're doing it that you put it through the right way, but my purpose of leaving this in here for you is to show you that if you do it the wrong way and you don't pick up the color, it doesn't ruin it. You can still use it. So see, I put the black side down into the color. What you want to do is you want to have the black side into the not colored side of the foil that you're using. So what I mean by that is if the color foil that you're using, you want to be out from the black. So that is the correct way there. Again, I showed you the wrong way at first. This is the correct way, and I want you to know that you can do it the wrong way and it doesn't ruin your product. But it does save you time if you do it correctly the first way. So there you go. So the black side and the silver, which is the back of the colored foil, are what are going to be kissing each other or touching when you run it through the machine, just like that. So you will see white on silver. And the white is actually sticky back. I am using the peel and stick toner sheets. So these are essentially stickers, which is awesome because it saves me from having to put adhesive down. So this is the next step that I was referring to earlier, where I'm going to now run the foiled toner sheet through my manual die cut machine to get that embossing on there. So I'll show you one, and then I will fast forward and spare you the agony of having to see that happen as I do the rest of them. So you can see in the close-ups later on the detail that this adds to the layout. So there they all are completed, and now that is the tutorial on the how-to pretty much done. The rest of this is process video, and this is how I'm going to use those foiled elements on my layout to create the remainder of my layout here. So I actually have 4 photos, one 4x6 and 3 squares, and I believe those are 2.5 by 2.5. And I wanted originally to get all 4 of the photos on the layout, but it ends up being way too busy. And so I have lots of photos for more layouts. This is a coronavirus, what I call a hashtag quarantine birthday. And so celebrating and making a big deal out of 50 was kind of tough to do. I think we need a do-over. Another year older, another year wiser, and another year stuck in quarantine. Although I guess these are our first years, aren't they? So we made a big deal by making these bling signs for the cake, and it was a homemade cake, and we made him dinner. And I wanted to make a big deal on the layout and the memory, and I felt like by using these blinged up stars I was able to do that. So I'm going to use happy for the title, and obviously put in birthday, and of course it has to say 50 because we have to draw attention to the fact that this is a big birthday, and I felt that that blinged birthday, that blinged up happy helped me be able to do that. So I want to find other elements to pull in these colors into this. I could have left the layout exactly as it is with just the stars and then completed the title, but I wanted a little bit more. I felt like I needed more of a party on a page because this is a big birthday. So I have this, I have happy, now I need to finish birthday, and so I have a sticker from the sticker pack, and you couldn't really see the pink against the red, and so I backed that with a fine layer of blue. However, the silver on the birthday bothers me, so I'm going to pull out some gold foiled stickers that I have and try and overlay them. The stickers end up being slightly bigger than the font that is on the letter stickers end up being slightly bigger than the font that's on the birthday itself sticker. So I put those away and I decide to set that aside and go with something else. And so that's going to kind of come together as the layout comes together. I've decided that I'm going to commit to these parts and I need to just get them adhered. And in the process of doing so, I decide I want a little bit more blue on the page. So I'm going to get this sheet out and I'm going to cut it down so that you just see if you look at the close-ups, there's some polka dots, some light blue on blue. And I'm going to rip the edge so that I create a little less structure to the layout and kind of soften the edges here to go with that confetti. And I'm just going to put that right there and add just a little bit more color to this main background that I'm going to work on. There's the clear designer toner sheet that I put the gold on, and I love the way that that adds a little bit more sparkle to the page. I want to frame these photos just a little bit to make them stand out, and so I'm going to split this tag here, and that is going to create, it's actually a frame with a saying in it, and that is going to create photo corners, and that one photo corner is going to go behind that big 4x6 photo, and then the other is going to go under that smaller photo there. And I like the way that that just pops the photos. Within that phrase, birthday was there, and it's a great way of getting birthday into my title there. So I have committed to this, and that is going to help anchor that clear toner sheet. Now you can use liquid adhesive to get that down, and actually I am going to do that off camera in that top right hand corner because it ends up being loose, and I'm worried that when I slide it into a page protector that it'll get caught on the page protector, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to put a dot of Ultra Bond behind the top star, and you cannot see that on the Clear Designer toner sheet. Now, I want a little something between the photo, the 4x6 photo, and the square photo. And so I found this tag, and I'm going to use the tag. I thought that the pink, I actually really do like the pink, but the problem with the pink, and the reason I'm going to put that yay, yay, yay piece away, is that it has silver glitter, and I don't like the mix of the silver glitter with the shiny gold foil. They're two different textures, and I don't like the way that they work together on this particular layout, because I really want the bling to the shiny foil to stand out, and that doesn't happen with that. So I am struggling with this layout. I will tell you, this originally unedited is 55 minutes of video. I am usually not as indecisive as I am during this layout creation, and so I had to really cut this down to edit out some of the silly things that I end up doing in my indecisiveness. Those of you who know me and know my work know that I like to use the phrase the Suzanna title shuffle, or the Suzanna shuffle. And that's what happens when I move things around and am being indecisive. And it usually only happens with the titles, but on this particular layout, if I had not edited it, would have been an incredibly long video, because let's just say that quarantine indecisiveness has also translated to my creative brain, because there was a lot of stuff that I pulled out. I think some of it too is when you have a lot of product, you get overwhelmed by the product as well. And those of you who know me and know my work know that I am not a heavy embellisher. I like to use embellishments to a minimum that serve a purpose. And I think I got overwhelmed by all of the things that I have here and tried to find a way to use them. So I have closed out the space between that blue tag and the main 4x6 photo with that white tag there. There ended up being a gap that was visually disturbing, and so I used that yay, yay, yay tag there. Foam. I love foam. Those of you who know my layouts know I like to have dimension, and there is nothing better than this Gina K foam tape for using. I like the tape over the squares because it allows me to not have space by filling in the squares, and it's a lot of peeling with the squares. So I like the tape. That is my preference. I also like that the tape is not as high as the foam squares. To me, those foam squares stand 5 miles off the page, and I don't want skyscrapers standing off my page. I want dimension, but I don't want skyscrapers. So that is why I really like the foam tape, and that's what works for me. We all have our preferences. I know a lot of you like the squares. By all means, go for the squares, but this is my personal preference. So I put it down, and I have foam both on that yellow package as well as on this tag, or this banner, and that's too much. It creates an asymmetry between in the banner. As you get to the end, then the banner steps up, and I don't want that to happen. So I had to pull off the foam off of the back of the bottom of the package, but it's still on the top, and again, adding an interesting layer of dimension to that there. So you will notice that I put adhesive on the back of that blue star there, and I'm going to off camera go off and pull that off, because it is actually a peel and stick toner sheet, and so I didn't need to put that adhesive, but you could see how I pulled the the backing off of the happy in order to stick that on there. And I forget with the stars that is also, to me, the stars are the foiled stars are part of just the collection, and I forget that there's a sticker sheet on there, and so I will go off camera and I will peel those off, the backings off, so that there aren't any issues later on. So you will see that I have that blue star on the bottom right next to the photos. And you can see as I create this layout that there is some asymmetry to it. So I have that big photo, and then I have the big blue star above it, and then I'm going to put a small blue star to the left, and then you have the small blue star to the right. I don't yet have that blue star, by the way, to the left. And I feel like everything's running downhill to the left because I haven't created balance across the page. And so I'm going to fix that in two ways. One, I am going to off camera change that small blue star on the right to a larger star. It's actually sitting at the top of the screen right now. And then this yellow banner that I have up here adds a little bit of weight to that right-hand side of the page. So there's that blue star that I was referring to that I did off camera that creates a better visual triangle and balance on the page. So that, my friends, is my Bling Bling 50th birthday page. I hope you enjoy the close-ups. If you have any questions as to the process that I went through, please don't hesitate to leave them in the box down below. Thanks for stopping in today. Enjoy the close-ups. I hope you're doing well. Take care.